Talking with Topher is sponsored by New Hampshire Vape Gallery, slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com, and naturalbossnh.com. More on that later. Let's get into episode 69. What is happening, TwT fans? It is so good to be back, and, well, it's Wednesday. That's right, Wednesday, July 28th, 2021, and I am just so happy to be back. Normally I record on Mondays, but I'll explain to you what happened in a moment. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody out there for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing. All of those things help the podcast with the algorithm. It helps it grow. It keeps me coming back week after week. But I got to ask you to check out my sponsors. That helps keep the podcast afloat. And to everybody new to the podcast, welcome. And remember to subscribe, hit those like buttons, share, rate, review, and of course, comment. Comments are super important. It really helps with the podcast algorithm. I don't know how it works, but for some reason it does. So I thank you all for doing all of that. And if you're new, let's do it, right? Subscribe. Super important. If you want to follow me, you can. I'm on social media. All my links are right here at the bottom of the screen. I put them in the description. But you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. Again, that is Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. And if you want to get more involved with the podcast, send your email to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's talkinwithtopher@gmail.com, the official email of the podcast. I've got something coming up, and if you want to get more involved with the podcast and maybe be a part of it, I'm going to let you know what's going on in a couple. I think maybe next week I should have more information. At least I'm hoping I will. But you're going to need to send an email to get involved in that. So you're going to want to send it out to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Again, that is talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. And now, with all of that out of the way, you might have noticed something a little bit different. Yeah, I said it's Wednesday. What are you doing recording on Wednesday? I'm like, I don't know. Monday was crazy. So here's my weekly roundup. And I got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I got real time crunch today. Got to get this thing edited and uploaded. So I am really pushing it to the max. But here's what happened. So Tuesday was like normal order day. Wednesday, I edited episode 68, got that uploaded, and, then Thursday, more jujitsu, we got work. Friday, Saturday, weekend was super, super busy. The weather was okay. We had some rain, we had some sunshine, we had some humidity, the whole nine. And then Sunday comes around, and it's my dad's birthday. So now we have to go to my dad's and, my parents, because they are still married. And we go to my parents' house for my dad's birthday. And my dad's watching the ball game. So I sit there and I watch the ball game with him. Really, really cool game. Red Sox are losing. It is the bottom of the seventh. It is Yankees 4, Red Sox 0. And now Red Sox are pitching. Yeah. They were pitching because they're last up. So they take the bottom of the innings. New York takes the top. So Red Sox are pitching. They get the Yankees out. They go to the bottom of the eighth. And the Red Sox do what they always do. Like, they always seem to fall into a hole and then dig themselves out of it. It was just that. They were down 4, 1.5 innings left. And all of a sudden, I do not know any of these new players. Like I said, I have not watched a Red Sox game in years. The only time I ever see the Red Sox games is when my dad's watching them, and I go over, and we always sit down and watch it together. But I'm not really into it. And all of a sudden, they get they hit it really far out. The guy gets a triple. And then another guy hits it. One guy runs home. That guy gets on second. Blah blah blah. Basically, they get up to 4 runs. They tied it up, and then all of a sudden they tie it up. They got what? I think it was somebody on first and second. They bat up. Boom! All of a sudden, everybody's cheering. There's 5 runs. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is crazy. Not thinking anything of it. I'm like, oh, this is just a regular game. But at least they're winning now. So they get to 5. It's now 4-5. Red Sox in the lead. Bottom of the 8th. They finally get put out, and we go to the top of the 9th. So the only thing the Red Sox has to do at this point is, get the Yankees out, and they win. And that's exactly what they did. There was a few things that we were all like, Jesus Christ, they're going to lose it. And they didn't. It was really amazing. Like, I get excited when these things happen, but it's not, like, if you watch baseball all year round, it's not always like this. So they get the Yankees out and win. And I'm like, oh, that was great. Good game. And my dad's like, they just won the 7-game series. And I was like, what? I was like, I just watched an important game and caught the tail end of it. But yeah, I guess the Red Sox and the Yankees were playing a 7-game series that I don't keep up with. They were tied 3-3, and this was the tiebreaker. Red Sox took it home and crushed them. So I was like, holy crap, that is crazy. And it was just really cool to watch that. And then, of course, we did presents and, ice cream cake and all that good stuff. But it's just really good to see the nieces and my sister, my mom, and everybody. And, it was just a really good time. We got to hang out for a couple hours, and it was just really cool to see that baseball game. And it was just an amazing thing to watch. I don't know why this always seems to happen to me when I sit down and I watch the ball game with my dad. Something crazy happens. He's like, I've been watching all year. Nothing like this has happened. You sit down for 15, 20 minutes and you see the craziest thing. So I don't know what it is, but the ball game was great. Hanging out with my dad was great. Every year we get with our family and our friends is just another year that, like, it's, I don't know. Is it a blessing? Maybe. But it's really, really nice to have this time. And now that my grandmother has passed, I've been thinking about a lot of things, like when Archer had his tumors out last week. Small update on that. He is doing really well. He's doing very well. He's back to his old energetic self, except now he's wearing a cone. He's wearing a cone. He's knocking everything over. He's digging that thing into our legs. He doesn't realize it's there. It's funny and frustrating all at the same time, but I'm glad he's getting better, and I can't wait till the doctor takes off, or the vet takes off that cone, takes out his stitches, and hopefully after this Sunday coming up, he'll be able to run around in the yard again, and I won't have to take him out on a leash, and that'll just be nice. It'll just be nice. But yeah, he's healing up really well, and we're just making sure that, everything stays that way. Still taking the antibiotics and the painkillers. I'm supposed to give them those until they're gone. And then we finally dropped him down on the Benadryl back to 25 milligrams a day, just to keep the goopy eyes and the ears from getting infected, stuff like that. But yeah, so Monday comes around, and I have got a laundry list of shit to do, right? Oh, wait. Let me get back to Sunday. Sunday was so funny. Okay, so me and my wife leave my parents' house, and we go to Dunkin' Donuts. And when we go to this Dunkin' Donuts, I don't do this very often because I don't buy my coffee anywhere. I make it at home. And so she wanted to get a coffee. I wouldn't stop and get her Starbucks because we were running late, per usual. And so she's like, I want Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm like, all right, let's go get you some Dunkin' Donuts. That's fine. And she places these orders, right? I have to like block my ear so she's not yelling in my perforated eardrum to place the order, because she's like, oh, I'll just tell you what it is and you just say it to them. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. I only want this to be said once. I don't want you to say it and me to say it. The speaker can pick her up. So the speaker will be like, oh, well, I didn't hear you or something. It's happened many times before. So now I just put my finger in my ear and I let her just say it or yell it to the speaker. It makes my life easier. So we go there, and I'm listening to the guy ordering ahead of us. And I can't really hear anything that he's saying, but our windows are down. And then all of a sudden, I just hear like this really loud voice coming from the speaker. And I was like, holy crap. I guess that guy's getting a culotta, strawberry culotta with whipped cream. You can just hear him repeating the whole order back. And I was like, this is so funny. So we pull up to the speaker, and now we're waiting. And we're waiting, and we're waiting. And I'm like, what's going on? Was that his last order of the day? Maybe he's switching it up. And no, I was like, I made a joke because my wife's like, what is taking so long? I go, well, maybe he was like, if I have one more person order a strawberry culotta with whipped cream on it, I'm done for the day. I don't know. I just made up something silly. And about 2 minutes go by, and the guy finally comes back to the speaker, and she says that she wants, I wrote it down because I can never remember this shit. What was it? Oh, right. She ordered a large frozen coffee with 4 butter pecan. This guy comes back on the speaker and is like, okay, so you want a large frozen coffee, 4 butter pecan? I was like, holy shit. There's a lot of energy. He's yelling like crazy. And then she's like, yeah, can I also get oatmeal milk instead of regular milk? And he's like, okay, oatmeal milk instead of regular milk. You got it. And I was like, oh my God, this guy has so much energy. So that was super entertaining. We pull up to the first window. Of course, the guy's doing it again to somebody else because they're always taking orders as they're taking your money. And then he has us pull up to the second window as if we were getting food. I'm like, didn't you just order a drink? So why am I pulling up to the second window? Now, I don't know what the hell's going on inside these places. I don't know what it takes to make the oat milk. I don't know. I figured it'd be in a container, right? You just pour it in. I don't know. Maybe they were like milking the oats. I don't know. But we had to wait like 3-4 minutes for them to give her large coffee with all the crap in it and the oatmeal milk. But the whole experience was just really funny because that guy had so much passion behind the mic. I was like, wow, you should do a podcast. He just sounds like he's just got so much energy. It would be very entertaining to listen to him, I think. But it might not be. I don't know. Sometimes I don't find it very entertaining to listen to myself. But I appreciate all of you for listening to me week after week. So that was really fun. Then we go home. It's a normal night. We're eating dinner. You know, watching all our shows, getting caught up on stuff. And I started getting into, anybody watch American Horror Stories? They have, I don't know, is it 7 or 8 seasons? But, it's 13 episodes per season. It's all the same characters. You get really involved with them. It's this huge storyline with a great twist at the end. All this stuff going on. But this time, or maybe it was American Horror Story. Yeah, that's what it is. It's American Horror Story, and this is American Horror Stories. So I know that like a lot of people are like, well, I get really involved with the people and the characters, and if you're gonna split it up into little mini stories, I don't think it's gonna be as good. I can tell you that it is. It's pretty damn good. The very first episode and the second episode were the same story split into two, and then the third story was completely different. It's really good. I love that show, so I was super excited to see it come back. And if they do, you know, I figure at this point, even if they do 10 episodes, you're going to get 9 stories out of it. So I think that's really neat. They're about 45 minutes each, I think. Not bad. It's on Hulu. So if you're looking for something to watch, I think it's really cool. I love the American Horror Story, so I'm getting into American Horror Stories now. I think there's going to be a new one. Well, actually, it's Wednesday, so probably going to be today. But yeah, so we got into that, and then Monday comes around. All right, back to Monday. So Monday, I am in the middle of crunch time right now. August 3rd, I will be getting those trees cut down. So I have got a lot of work to do before they show up. I'm not going to be able to be in my driveway that day. I had to take the day off of work because I want to film it. I want to be there when these things are happening. I have to pull my white fence out of the grass. I have to move it so that they can get the crane in. So that's all going to be happening this Sunday or Monday this week. So what I had to do on Monday, 2 days ago, is I had to mow the lawn. It hadn't not been mowed in 2.5 weeks because of this wonderful weather we're having. It's nothing but rain. Yesterday we got a little bit of a rainstorm, really cooled it down. Today is a beautiful day. It's 72 degrees out there. The sun is shining. I am so excited because it was supposed to be rain today, tomorrow, Friday, and then it was supposed to open up on Saturday. And I looked at the weather, and that's all changed. Thursday, it's going to be rainy. Today's pretty nice. Friday, it clears out. Saturday's good. And I know I shouldn't be looking too far out and getting my hopes up, but it looks like Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday are going to be amazing as well. So keeping my fingers crossed because my trees only get cut down if the weather's good. So I'm like, oh, please, 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 please. You know, I got my fingers crossed. I'm praying to Mother Earth to not fucking screw this up for me. So I'm just hoping. I'm hoping that they can come in and do their job, and I can say goodbye to these trees 7.5 years later, and I will be so happy. So I have to mow the lawn. It's super long. Lot of edging, lot of crap to do, right? 4.5 hours because I don't only do my lawn, I do the duplex next to me. It's not a duplex, it's a 2-story family house, right? No. Is it a split? Maybe it's a split. I don't know. It holds 2 families. They rent it out, whatever. So the owners pay me to mow their lawn and keep up with it. So adding that in adds an extra hour, sometimes hour and a half to my job. So that's fine. I accept it. I do it. I get it done. And then I have to crawl underneath the porch because I'm still trying to divert the water. I haven't had any water come into the basement since I turned the downspout a different direction. So what I did was I got these 2-foot, they call them like, I don't know if it's like a garden separator or a mulch guard, something like that. But you put it into the ground, they connect together, and you put your bark mulch on one side and your grasses on the other side. It keeps them separated. Makes it really easy to do your yard work, do your edging, stuff like that. So I brought that stuff. I bought 13 of them. I think it was like $20. And I ended up doing a full perimeter around the inside, I'm underneath the deck now, which I actually realized is a lot bigger than I anticipated being under there. I was expecting to be like almost on my belly, and I was pretty comfortable just working on my knees. So I was happy about that. I was happy that I could get under there easily. I haven't been under that porch since we bought this house. I don't think I've ever gone under there. Maybe when we first moved in, I might have removed some trash and stuff, but I've never like really gone under there and paid attention. Well, there's a lot to pay attention to. I got a giant boulder that is separating, and I've got like a 2.5-inch gap. So I'm going to get something that they make for, probably bonding the rocks together. I'm hoping they put it in a caulking gun so I can just like spray it in there. Maybe I need some expanding foam. I'm not really 100% sure, but I do know I need to keep that from falling further. So I'm going to have to shove some rocks under that. And I'm taking these 2-foot things, and I trim out the inside edge of the lattice. And then what I did was I was looking at dams. And, they have things, dams, they close and then they stagger, right? And there's a reason for that. It's so the water can't make a straight line to wherever it was going. It has to, even if it breaks this wall, it runs into this wall and it goes a different direction. So they've always got them kind of staggered, and I found that to be interesting. So I did the exact same thing under my deck. I found the path that it was taking, and I just went one here, one over here, and then, and I just did this whole staggering thing, and then right where the hole was, where the water was getting down, I put my hand down in there, and then I took a whole bunch of rocks, and I stuffed those in the hole. I had the little mallet with me. I banged those fucking rocks in, right? Get those all nice down, packed in. And then I take a whole bunch of loose dirt. It was just there. I was like, man, all the dirt just kind of moved around and got out of the way. So I take all this dirt and I fill it back up, and I kind of make it flat, but you can still tell that it's tilted towards the foundation. And so now I have this plastic guard with like these barriers that it has to go through, and then I wrap 2 pieces, around that hole. So this water really has to make lefts, rights, and work its way around another barrier before it can get to the spot that was where the leak was coming from. So now I'm feeling more confident about the water not getting in. So I'm like, all right, perfect. All I have left is I got to get the wheelbarrow. I got to get plastic. I got to put the dirt on the plastic. I got to get it underneath the deck. And then I'll fill all that space up, and I'm going to make the level go from here to here. So it'll be coming off the foundation and it'll go down. So even if the water makes it through all the barriers for some god-awful reason, it still would have to climb the dirt in order to get to my foundation. So once all that's done, I'll be able to fix the concrete, and then I'll be able to seal the basement wall downstairs. I got to get all these steps out of the way. It's the only way the wall's going to be able to dry, first off. And you always want to make sure that the water is not going to come back. You got to beat the water before you fix the damage it made. You know what I mean? So I've got all this planned out. I got that all done Monday. So I started all this around 11, and I didn't get done until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So then I come upstairs, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to record my podcast. Da-da-da-da-da. I did. I recorded a podcast. I'm not putting it up. Now, I will be honest with you. Everything that I put up, I always have to re-listen to. I have to edit it. I hate it. I hate listening to myself. I hate seeing myself on camera. I listen to what I've said, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, right? I don't like it. And I feel like this is the way it's supposed to be, right? If you're making a podcast like I am and you go to edit it and you listen to it and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever done, I think you're living in a fictitious world. But I get embarrassed about everything I do. And I get uncomfortable. I get all these emotions. And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to do when I put it up. I'm always worried. So this one, I didn't even re-listen to it. I was just like, you know what? I got some extra time today, and I'm going to do it all over again. I was like, it was unfair to you, and it was just a bunch of crap coming out of my mouth. I didn't feel good. I was tired. I was exhausted. I mean, getting the lawn mowed and then recording the podcast that I'm not going to put up, and then going outside after and just is like therapy to me. Like, I should have just done that. You know what I mean? I should have just finished out my job. I should have taken a shower, and then I should have just enjoyed everything that I did, because I didn't know that I was going to be able to come up here and do this today. My wife decided to go to work, and I was like, really? Well, then I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to do my podcast, and then I'm going to edit it and upload it, because I felt that what I did was I don't know if it was the worst one I've ever done, but there was no emotion. I was trying, which I hate that. You shouldn't be trying to do emotions. You know what I mean? So I was very unhappy with the way it came out, with the way I was discussing things, and with just everything about it. I was just like, meh, this is not good. So that is why I am back here. I couldn't put out something that I felt was unfair to all of you out there who watch and listen every week. So I felt it was just something I had to do for myself and for you. So that's why I'm recording today, Wednesday. Here we go. So I also want to give you a quick update, right? I updated you on the trees, which is going to be so awesome. Archer update. And also, I am working on my story, okay? So my story, all right, so here it is, okay? Now, if you're only listening to me, you're not going to see this, but this is the file, all right, with everything in it. Excuse me. From all the charges to finally getting off of probation. So there is 2 years of stuff that I have to go through. So I wanted to give you a quick update on the story itself. It is coming. I am working on it, but I want this to be something that is good. I want it to be good. I want it to be a true story. I have never written a story. I have to figure out how to write a story. I've gotten some info from a couple people who actually do write. And, I got to do an outline. I got to do all kinds of stuff. And I got to really put the work in. And then, a couple people told me to do everything from memory and then add in your facts, because then it would probably be easier. Because if you go by facts, you might not get everything that you thought you remembered, because then the facts start taking over the imagination in a sense. I don't know if it's imagination, but the memory. So you start filling the memory with the facts, and then it doesn't come out the same. So everybody's told me a couple different things, but they all said, do what you remember, then add in all the details. And I said, okay, I can do that. I can do an outline. I failed English. I took level C English to get out of high school. That was it. Like, I was a horrible English student. So for you out there, all of you, for subscribing. I want to make sure that this is going to be the best that it can be coming from me. So I'm putting a lot of work into it. Plus, you have to remember, I'm reliving it. I have to write it all down, and it's difficult for me to go back to this. I mean, yeah, sure, it happened in 2007, but I mean, it's still a lot for me to remember, process, all the awful things that happened, all the programs I had to go through, and then of course all the money and this and that. It's just a whole bunch, and then I'm trying to put it all into a story so that I can come on camera and tell all of you out there. So it's a little difficult, and I will be honest that I'm not trying to procrastinate too much, but with everything going on, trying to get everything prepared for the trees and taking care of my dog and losing all my morning hours and everything else, I just want it to be the best that it can be. So be patient with me, and it will be coming, hopefully, by the end of August. I have a feeling that if I give myself a deadline, I will be able to meet that and get it out before the end of August. So that's my goal, and I just wanted all of you out there to know, because I did ask all of you to subscribe. I said when I get to 100, I'm going to be doing this. But then I started digging into this, and I realized I have a lot to do. So as soon as the trees are gone, as soon as the dog is healed and I can let him out without a leash, because now I can't run in the morning. You know, even though I'm getting up a little bit later, I still have fatigue. I still have brain fog. I still have body aches. I'm getting neck cramps. I'm getting all the stuff. So my next step is to talk to my doctor and get this ivermectin and fluvoxamine, because I am tired of this bullshit with the vaccine. It gave me these symptoms. He told me to wait it out, and I've waited long enough. I am so tired of this. I think I've gotten up one day in the last 10 weeks at 6 o'clock. And you're like, well, do better. Get up. Yeah, I know. I'm trying. I don't know what the fuck my problem is, because I just keep crawling in the bed and I keep hitting the snooze button, and I'm just super crampy and completely exhausted. And it doesn't matter what I do. My B12 is boosted my energy. Those mushroom pills I showed you last week boost my energy. I can't get back to where I was before this fucking shot. And I think we should be allowed to talk about this. I think it's super important to talk about what an experimental drug is doing to us. To hide the facts, to hide the symptoms, is to hinder and slow down science. We need to be discussing this. If this is happening to you, you should discuss it with your doctor. You should tell people, because there's other people that this is happening to, and they don't feel like they can talk about it because they don't understand that it's even happening. And it makes me angry that so many people are being demonetized, or they're being silenced or canceled for bringing up any of this. It's an experimental drug. It's not approved by the FDA. We need to tell people what it's doing to us. And no, we don't know what it's going to do long term, because long term takes a long time to get there. So we will never know what long term is until long term happens. And that's what, 5-6 years after you've had the shot personally. So what, I got until 2026 to figure out what this shit has done to my body? You know, it's just like when they say long haulers. Well, the virus hasn't been around long enough to say that you're a long hauler. I am tired of listening to people tell me about all this long-term shit when we've only been dealing with this for a year and a half. What are we talking about? What do you think long-term is? 6 weeks? I don't understand. We need more data before we can tell anybody anything about long-term. I mean, look at the antibody thing. At first, they told us 3 months. Then they told us, oh, some people make it 6 months. And then they said, oh, wow, look at this. Some people make it 9 months. And then they were like, oh, look, some people make it a year. Yeah, because we finally got a year's worth of data under our belt. Like, we are not going to know what this is doing to us until it gets there. And it's going to take a long time before we can find out what long hauler actually means. We got to stop throwing these things around like it means something when we're barely 2 years into this shit. And we haven't been given the vaccination for more than, what? Was it January this year? Everybody finally started getting shot up? So what are we talking about? It's almost August. That's 7 months worth of data at most. So we don't have this info. So I'm talking to my doctor about stuff that works. It's been around for a long time, and I know they can make generics out of it. So blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care. It helps with people with these symptoms who have had COVID, and it's also helping with people that have had the shot and are getting the same exact symptoms as if they got COVID. Why? Because they set off a nuclear bomb inside of our fucking body and gave us COVID. That's the end of the story. We got a taste of it. This shit kicked my ass. I'm still a little butthurt about having to get it in the first place. And now you're going to tell me to put a fucking mask back on. You know what I mean? And I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too. But I need to talk to my doctor. I need to get these drugs, and I need to feel myself again. So with everything going on and not being able to get up at 6 for some stupid reason, I'm going to keep pushing myself. I keep trying to do it. And I got it that one day. Today I slept in because I was super, super tired. And I think I just beat the crap out of myself on Monday. I'm in my 40s. I've got to realize I don't have the energy I did when I was 25 anymore. But I also have to realize that I put an experimental thing in my body, and it's possible that it's changed. It's causing inflammation, and it's causing the inflammation in my brain. It's causing the neck cramps. It's causing the brain fog. And even though I'm not anti-vax because I got the fucking thing, I still feel like we all need to talk about what it's doing to us individually, because what's happening to me may not be happening to you, but it could be happening to somebody else. We're all different. The vaccination treats us all different. The fucking COVID treats us all different. And now with this new variant, you're just like, I give up. I'm tapping out. You know what I mean? So where was I going before all of this? Trying to get up, running. Yeah, so I'm trying to get back into it, but I'm not really going to be able to do any of it until my dog is healed and those trees are gone. I've got to get this work done. I've got to just get it all done. And then later on, hopefully by the end of August, I'm updating my gym downstairs, and I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. I am so tired of being in class and just nothing with the arms, dude. It's so frustrating when you are trying to get somebody off of you. Yeah, sure, they got more weight. You know, they're bigger dudes, whatever. But I feel like I should be able to do better. You know, I just got to do something with my body. I'm not strong enough. I get upset with myself when I get completely smashed in class. And I know it's stuff I have to work through. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I just can't wait. I got to update my gym. I got to get my stuff together. I'm going to get racks and flooring and a couple other things I'm working on putting it all together right now. I'm super pumped for it. And then if I can get all this stuff from my doctor, hopefully that'll help get me over this fatigue and brain fog and the aches and everything else. And then once that's all said and done, I need to start digging in and getting back to where I was almost 10, 11 weeks ago. So that's what's been going on with me. That's my weekly roundup. New Hampshire Vape Gallery is located at 180 Lafayette Road, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Rings, where we are open seven days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. Give us a call, 603-814-4171, and you can always shop inside of our store. What? Look at these devices. I keep talking about them. These are the top of the line devices that I have right now, the IPX80 and, of course, the RPM2. This one's got a beautiful colored screen. I love them. 80 watts adjustable, RPM2, dual airflow. Can't beat it. Disposables. Got Esco bars. These things are amazing. Mesh coil, great flavors, always consistent, and you are always surprised at how long it takes to finish one. We've got all those in stock. This is new. New. All right, look. You wanted Delta 8? We got it. This is Moonmen. Yeah, Delta 8. You want Delta 8? We got it. That's right. I have disposables. I have cartridges. And if you need a battery for your cartridges, this E-Leaf iStick is awesome. It's got an adjustable screen. All adjustable. See? Digital display. It's adjustable, and it's a great battery. No, doesn't run off of magnets. You screw your cartridge into it, and you just fire it. It's amazing. It works great with Delta 8. It's just a phenomenal 510 cartridge battery. There's many more to choose from than just that one. So come in, get your Delta 8, get your CBD, or get your cartridge batteries with us today. Also, brand new. I have been talking about nicotine pouches, right? Bam. This is the company we are carrying. Now, most companies out there, Rogue, Zyn, and there's somebody else, they're dry packets. These are dampened packets. So as soon as you put them into your mouth, they're already moist. You're already getting nicotine. They are amazing. They smell great. See, you can see how they're already a little damp. That's the way they should be, because when you put it in your mouth, your saliva automatically activates everything going on. But what do I do if I go somewhere and I can't spit the packet out? Check this out. What? Right on the top of the can. You can't spit out your nicotine pouch? Now you can with Nin nicotine pouches. All in stock today, $6 a can. Can't beat it. Gotta get it. And you can only get this stuff at New Hampshire Vape Gallery, located at 180 Lafayette Road, Seabrook, New Hampshire, down the street from Home Depot and next to Smoke Ring, where we are open 7 days a week from 10:30 to 8 p.m. Feel free to give us a call. 603-814-4171. And as always, I look forward to seeing you there. Slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. That's slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Not sure how to spell it. It's right here at the bottom of the screen. You can also find it in the description area on this episode's description. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I have just received a bunch of stuff from these guys. It's amazing, and I want to show it all off to you. I got the board shorts. Huh? Look at these things. They are so comfortable. They're so nice, and I can't wait to use them for swimming or whatever I'm going to use them for. See the shirt? If Phenomenal. Phenomenal. The quality of these shirts is just amazing. Bam. Another shirt. Bam. I mean, all of these shirts are just amazing. The quality's great. The prints are great. And I just absolutely have to thank these guys. So many wonderful, high quality items for you at slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. You got to go to the website to get this stuff. I'm telling you, I'm wearing them. They're amazing. They feel great. The quality, print, the everything about all of their products is just amazing. And you can only get it here at slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Again, slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. It's right here at the bottom of the screen. Go there. Get your high quality clothing today. Naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. You want organic products that you're going to love? You're going to get them right here. They got 5 different products to choose from. Whether you're trying to melt the stress away with the body and foot soak, or you want to keep your hands clean because of the flu and COVID, or if you want to keep your lips moist. Maybe you got dry skin. Maybe your beard needs some helping. All of these situations can be taken care of here at naturalbossnh.com. It's made locally. It's small business, and they're amazing products. So buy one or all 5 of these products today at naturalbossnh.com. That's naturalbossnh.com. And now, back to talking with Topher. Let's get into some current events. We have got some wildfires, right? There is some crazy stuff going on. The air quality is now, even in Manchester, air quality warning extended for the North Shore, Merrimack Valley, and northern Worcester Hills through this evening. This was on the 27th, so a little bit behind. But, you know, it's so crazy. I mean, it's not really that crazy, though. If you've got fires, right, the smoke has to go somewhere, and it brings down the air quality. But I guess wherever the fires are, they're not as close to all of us as, like, when California, I mean, they all get evacuated, right? I mean, the air quality goes down. Shit's burning, and... Yeah, so thank you, Liquid Death. So the air quality is poor, right? And they're suggesting that you wear a mask outside. And they're also trying to implement mask mandates again. So my conspiracy brain goes, what are they doing? Are they, is the air quality actually bad? I guess there's been people complaining about the smell and certain things like that. I mean, I just don't trust our government anymore. Is anybody else with me? I don't trust anything. We had so many things that were supposed to happen, and it's not. And having Biden knock down the legalization of marijuana federally is really a kick to the fucking nuts. It sucks. And I just don't believe a fucking word that they say anymore. I just don't. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. So yeah, sure. I can understand air quality's down, but they're like, oh, you should wear a mask. Well, aren't you the same people that are trying to put a mask mandate on everybody? So I actually wanted to hear what this guy talks about real quick.
Sky 25, you can see the thick haze reaching the ground Boston 25's Wale Aliu went to Worcester tonight, where even veteran firefighters were surprised by the smoke they saw.
There were two major factors that had several people calling into their local fire departments: the look in the air and the smell.
It was a little more of an eerie cast to it.
Ooh.
So I went outside and it smelled a little funky.
That smell matched the look from Boston to Cambridge to Worcester and throughout much of Massachusetts.
I've been in this business for 30 years, and I had a hard time believing it, all right? That the odor came with the haze.
Worcester Deputy Chief John Power says they spent the day responding to calls of people asking about that smell and the dense haze, thinking there were flames nearby. Turns out, it all came from thousands of miles away.
We're talking about massive wildfires out west, and I believe there's some in Canada. And as the jet stream picks up the smoke and the air current, just brings it right over to the East Coast. The amount of smoke that they have that these wildfires are generating. If it's like this here, can you imagine what it's like in the West Coast?
It's dangerous from the fire. Like, we really need to do something. Save the trees. I thought it was dust, but it was like too much everywhere. So I was like, maybe I do need a mask now.
All right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm usually wrong. Let's put it that way. I am usually wrong. And of course, you know, my conspiracy brain went, this is bullshit. They trying to put the mask mandates back in effect, and it's easy to just say air control, air quality is no good, put on a mask. So I think I'm wrong. Maybe it is better if you do wear a mask outside and not breathe in that smoke. So that's what I want to talk about there. Let's go into, all right. I was talking about the mask mandates, the Delta variant. So here we are again. I guess in Provincetown, there was a COVID cluster. Now, if you've been keeping up with this story, it started out with 136 people being infected with the Delta variant, most of them unvaccinated. It climbed up to 430 something or 56 people about 2 days later. And as of yesterday, at 7:10 p.m. is when this was updated. There are now 765 cases tied to the COVID-19 cluster, with 335 additional cases that additional confirmed are now tied to it. So we're looking at like over 1,000 people that contracted COVID-19 in Provincetown gatherings over one weekend. Look, I'm vaccinated, right? I'm not that worried about the variant as I once was. I truthfully do believe in the science, even though it's not FDA approved and it is experimental, and I am now part of an experiment. I still believe that if I do catch the variant, I'm not going to the hospital. That's why I got this shot. Now, out of everything that's going on, I don't know if you're keeping up with it, but Moderna has not said anything about a booster shot yet, which has me feeling optimistic. Pfizer is saying that they need a booster shot with their 2 shots, and Johnson & Johnson is saying that if you get the Pfizer, what do they say? Damn it. If you have the Johnson & Johnson shot, since it's not an mRNA vaccine, you can get the Pfizer booster shot. And they're recommending that to people who have had the Johnson & Johnson shot. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Everything, we don't know. We don't know everything. We have no idea. And now they have to try and fight this variant. I mean, what are we supposed to do? Are they going to lock us down again? Are they going to tell us to stay home and not go to work again? Like, what are we supposed to do? I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to work. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not doing those things. I'm not doing them. You asked me to trust the science. You asked me and then made it practically impossible to not get the vaccination working in the retail industry. So I went and got it to make my life easier. And here we go again. So I just thought this is crazy. I mean, this is going to happen. If you're unvaccinated, the potential of you catching the virus is, well, I think inevitable. And it's just going to do what it does anyways, whether we're vaccinated or not. Now, here's the other thing. They're talking about all these people that are saying that they're vaccinated and they're not, to just get away with not wearing a mask. And they're shocked about it. They're shocked about the honor system not working. Are you serious? Why are you so shocked? Is there anything that the honor system actually works? I mean, people put bowls of candy out on Halloween. I will tell you, I was one of those kids that saw take one only and just took the sign out and shoved all the candy in my bag. I was that asshole when I was a teenager. So why are we surprised that people are like, I didn't get the vaccination, but I'm going to tell everybody I'm vaxxed up just so I don't have to wear a mask? I don't think we should be shocked about that. I don't think it's a surprise. So, I don't know. This thing is just going to do what it does. You're either getting vaccinated or you're not. That's up to you. I did what I thought was best for me. You have to do what's best for you. And if it's not getting involved with the vaccination, then I just say good luck. I hope you don't catch COVID. I really hope you don't. And I hope that if I catch COVID, that what they gave me keeps me out of the fucking hospital like they kind of said it would. Right? That's all we're doing. We're hoping. Like we're hoping that life will go back to somewhat of what we remember. I can't even call it normal because this is normal today. All of this. This isn't going away. I thought 2022 was going to be the year, and now I'm starting to feel like I might be wrong, because as this thing mutates, it's just going to get worse. Well, I don't know. I'm just so glad that I've taken all the precautions that I've taken to hopefully not lose work, to hopefully keep everything afloat, and I just keep trying to make sure that if they do what they did to us, I think, a year ago now? Over a year ago when we locked down. I'm just hoping that I can get through this one as a little bit easier than we got through the last one. I just don't see this not happening again, you know? So I just know. The whole thing fucking pisses me off, and it should piss you off too. Because at least for me, I keep doing what they ask me to do, and then they just keep changing their mind. But it's not, I don't think it's actually them changing their mind. I think we just don't have the data. We don't have the data, and as the data comes in, things have to change. I just think that's the way life is now. So yeah, they're recommending that everybody who's vaccinated now wear your mask indoors. There's going to be certain places that are implementing these mask mandates again. I know most of Massachusetts, New York, stuff like that are doing it. So I was super happy to read an article yesterday on New Hampshire's mask mandate, guess what? Not doing it. So, I'm sorry. I hate Sununu. I hate him. I don't like anything he does. I tried to get him out of there this time around when we voted, and it didn't work. I don't know, but I'm really happy that he's not going to implement the mask mandate again in New Hampshire as of right now. So I was like, good, because we don't need this. If you're doing what you're supposed to, I feel like we're all going to get through this. And I've been saying this for over a year now. This thing is just going to do what it does. So I'm glad New Hampshire's not jumping on this bandwagon to implement these mask mandates again. So let's go on to some fun ones, right? I like to do some things that are fun. So this is hilarious because I watched it. I watched all 20 minutes of it. I don't know why. I don't know why. I absolutely love Joe Rogan. I cannot get enough of him. I've been listening to him for over 6 years now. My friend got me into it. I didn't think it was something that I was going to enjoy, but here I am today doing exactly what Joe Rogan was doing 10, 11 years ago. And I was like, when my friend introduced me to it 6.5 years ago, I was like, dude, this is fucking stupid. Why are you listening to people talking? And now it's like all I listen to. I must listen to 50 some odd hours of nothing but podcasts. And Rogan is my absolute favorite. I don't know if any of you out there feel the same way, but this Instagram thing where he got into an ice bath for 20 minutes was crazy. Now, I have taken, there was a Winhoff did a thing last year where was it last year? Man, I think it was almost 2 years ago now, where it was like the shower challenge. So I didn't read the thing correctly. So I saw a shower challenge on cold for 30 days. And I was like, cool. So I fucking did it. Now, at the time, I wasn't posting. I wasn't doing a podcast. I wasn't doing anything. So I just did it for myself. I take about an 8-minute shower. It was cold from start to finish. I do the whole fucking thing for 30 days. And then I post to his thing. I wrote and I was like, accomplished. Thank you so much for that. It was a cool learning experience. I really had to get my breathing down in order to get through the shower. And it was, like I said, it was only 8 minutes, but still cold water, 8 minutes, not fun. Not fun at all. But I felt great. And I think I need to do it again. But then, as I'm writing this in the comments, I'm reading. I went back up and I read the description of what you're supposed to do again. And it was cold shower, 2 minutes, 2 minutes warm, 2 minutes cold. You know what I mean? So there was supposed to be increments. You were supposed to be doing like a warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold thing. And I just did cold water for 30 days. So I still find it funny today. I'm like, what was I thinking? I got to learn that. If there's a test out there for dyslexia, I need to find it because I need to find out if I'm dyslexic. I read words that are not there. I have to read sentences 3 to 4 times before they actually make sense to me. And I sometimes read things backwards. So there's a bunch of little things that I do that are tied with dyslexia, but I've never taken a dyslexia test. So I can't say honestly that I'm dyslexic, but I like to say that I'm dyslexic because of those major things that happen, and those are pretty those are like the bigger parts of being dyslexic, I should say. So when I saw this, because Rogan's been talking about the ice bath, for maybe, I think he talked about it last week for a little bit, where he only did 5 minutes and then he did this and that. So he put himself on a timer because somebody that he knows, son, did like a 20-minute, and Rogan was like, oh, I gotta be able to do that. And I'm like, well, the kid's in his 20s, so I don't know if you really need to, but you know, Rogan is extreme. He's always been extreme. That's just the way this guy is. It's great. I have gotten so much from him, and I have changed so much in my life because of him. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, wow, he's taking an ice bath. I put it on, and I didn't stop watching it the entire 20 minutes. Then he gets out, and he's shivering and shaking, and he's having a hard time walking. And then he uploads his new podcast, 1667, I think, or 87, something like that. I mean, the guy's got so many podcasts. And he was in there in a sweatshirt, still shivering from being in that ice bath, and just talking about how cold he still was from doing that 20 minutes. So they looked it up, and come to find out, he basically gave himself a slight case of hypothermia that his body was trying to get out of. But it was just really, it makes me want to get one of these things. I want a sauna and I want an ice bath. Really, really bad. I've got to figure this out. I'm looking into it. I don't know if it's something I'm going to be able to accomplish this year, but I am looking into it because I'm like, I need more ways of helping my body heal and regenerate now that I'm in my 40s. It doesn't do it all on its own. And if it does, I think it needs a little bit of help as we get older. And saunas are great, and ice baths are really good for you as well. I don't recommend doing 20 minutes off the bat if you've never taken an ice bath. Because if you have a bath at your house, I don't. I've only got a stand-up shower stall. I can do cold showers, which help. And if you've got a bath at home, you can fill it up with ice and fill it up with really cold water and get in that bitch. And then put the timer on, do your breathing, and you can have a nice ice bath right there in your house. The only problem with that is you're wasting water. You know what I mean? You got to spend money on the ice. You got to spend money on filling up the tub. If you're only in there for 5 to 10 minutes, all that water, all that ice is going down that drain. So when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like, God, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to figure things out. I'm hoping maybe sometime next year I'll be able to put all this stuff together. But I really want to do this to help my body heal. Even after you work out, your body needs to heal. It needs to recuperate. And all of these things help that happen. So I thought this was really cool. I did not anticipate watching them for the full 20 minutes, but I did. So I just thought that was really neat, and I think more people need to do this. So if you're sitting there going, I'm always hurting, my neck's always cramping, this and that, get in the shower, turn it on cold, and just enjoy it. Breathe. Let that help you with your inflammation. It will. And then if you have access to a sauna somehow, do that too. You know, really hot shower helps, but I don't know. There's something about the cold really does like wake you up. It gets everything moving. It's really nice. And so I do recommend it. I don't recommend it for 20 minutes, but if you can get one of these things, an actual ice bath, at least you won't be putting all that money down the drain every time you want to do this. So I don't know. I wanted to put that out there. I think this shit's great. I love where we're at on recovery and stuff like that. But yeah, the whole thing, was just awesome. I don't think I should play any of his stuff on here. You know, if you follow Rogan, you've seen it. It's on Instagram. But yeah, so ice bath for 20 minutes at 33 degrees. That is a long time, and that is so cold. So I just think it's great. This man is... say what you want about him, but seriously, he does some incredible shit. And I'm super looking forward to his show this October 8th in Boston. So that's that. And then I haven't even looked into this. NASA is got that Mars helicopter. I'm not sure if it was attached to the little Land Rover thing that's been driving around or if it's its own separate entity. But they actually have a video of it flying around Mars. And it's the 10th and highest flight so far on Mars. Now, my question is how is this thing staying charged? How is it working? All this stuff is so interesting to me because I have so many questions and I have no idea how any of it works. But they got a video of this thing flying. I figured I'd play it and let's see what happens. All right, so Ingenuity completes Flight 10, reached record height. Woo! NASA's Mars helicopter completed its 10th flight on July 24th, 2021. Oh, that was like 4 days ago. It was the most complex flight yet, with 10 distinct waypoints, a record height of 40 feet according to NASA JPL-Caltech. The target of the flight was in an area called Raised Ridges. Each dot was a waypoint. I don't know what that means. It's a waypoint? Ingenuity's 9th flight occurred on July 5th. It is seen entirety in this time lapse. Ooh. See, I love this shit. This is so cool. What? So it took 10 days for this flight to happen. Huh. Flight 10 footage and details to come. Dude, that is so cool. I love it. Man, this shit is just neat to me. Let's see. It's NASA's Mars helicopter Ingenuity. Is that the name of the helicopter? Has flown its first mile on the red planet. Oh, that was a whole mile. Oh, okay. It surpassed the mile mark of its flight distance on Saturday when it soared over the rocky ridge called Raised Ridges. With the helicopter flight today, we crossed a mile. I mean, we are completely and absolutely digging into Mars right now. So this is going to be really cool, right? Because we're going to find out all the shit on this planet. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to take, but with this thing flying around, capturing depth and mountains and all kinds of stuff, I mean, we're really going to be able to make an amazing picture of Mars. And it's going to help us find out so much more. Last week with that, was it last week? Maybe last week. With the satellite that went around, Jupiter. It went around Jupiter, right? I said it looked like an oil painting, blah, blah, blah. Well, that thing, I guess, is on its way to Saturn. And I was thinking that Jupiter was Saturn. And I actually didn't say it on the podcast, but I was thinking, I was like, where's all the rings around it? And I'm like, oh my God, that's a different planet. Stupid. It's the next one. But that satellite that took all that footage and then flew away from Jupiter is now on its way to Saturn. And I think that's going to be really cool because is it going to be able to get close to those rings that's going around it? Is it going to be able to do what it's been doing where I believe it's been going, close to the planets, circling the planet, and then taking off from the planet. Well, Saturn has got rings around it with, I'm assuming giant boulders and meteorites that are trapped in that thing. So I would think that they would have to, they have no control over it. So I guess it's just going to do what it does. But I mean, how's it going to make it through those rings? Is it going to get close to Saturn? Are we even going to get like super good footage from Saturn? Or is it going to be one of those remade videos? Like, this is real footage of this thing flying around. That's its camera. That's what it's shooting. It's being filmed. Where the stuff that we watched that I showed you last week was actually a computerized image based off of the data that the satellite collected. Right? So completely different, but still really cool to find out these things from afar. So I'm really interested to see that thing, if it's going to hit Saturn next. Now, I mean, how many years did it take to get to Jupiter? I don't remember, but I wonder how many years it's going to take for it to get to the next one. You know what I mean? It just takes time. Everything takes time. We don't know until it happens. Same with everything. Same with everything these days. But yeah, that is it. That's the current events for the week. I'm just really happy to be back. I'm happy to be doing this. I'm happy to be in a better mood and doing this. And I'm just happy to share all of this with you. So do stay tuned. Stories coming. I'm not going to let you down. I didn't make you subscribe for nothing. So just stick with me on that. I'm giving myself to the end of August to get this all written up in a nice format, nice bow. I'm going to put a bow around it, make it pretty. And then it will come to you. But just, it's a lot for me to go through. Every time I tell a story, it's hard, and I just don't want it to come out like the rest of my stories do, where in the middle of my story, I start remembering something else that was before where I was at in the story, and then I do this rewind and try to fast forward, and it doesn't work. As always, thank you. Thank you for subscribing, watching, liking, sharing, commenting, all of it. I greatly appreciate it week after week. Just remember to check out the sponsors, slowdownclothing.bigcartel.com. Come on, these shirts are awesome. Check them out. I'm telling you, great products, great price. Natural Boss, nh.com. Go and check them out. Get yourself some hand sanitizer, some beard oil, whatever you need. Go get it. And of course, always come and visit me at New Hampshire Vape Gallery for all your vaping needs. It just helps the podcast stay afloat. It's very important, and thank you so much if you already did or do so. If you're new to the podcast, please remember, hit that subscribe button, share, rate, review. If you want to know when all the new podcasts are uploading, set those alarms. It will tell you. You can always follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. Again, that is Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. Every single handle is different. So I got the descriptions. I got the links right here at the bottom of the screen. And of course, if you go into the description, you can find the links to follow me. I think if you just type in Talking with Topher or Christopher Conderman, either way, you'll probably pull me up. But like everything I do, I've noticed that you have to type in a lot more. Although on YouTube, because of all of you out there, I don't have to type in my full name anymore when I want to look up my podcast. It's amazing. I was on somebody else's phone showing them the podcast. I typed in TA and I was third from the top. Now, I don't know how that happens because my numbers are not anywhere near, where the other people are, but I just have all of you to thank for that. I really do. So if you want to get more involved with the podcast, You got to send an email over to talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. That's talkingwithtopher@gmail.com. All right? That's it. That's that. That's the podcast. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your Thursday, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And as always, I'll talk to you later.